Michigan falls to Penn State 73-79. I think you could make the story either way here. Good game for Penn State, bad game for Michigan. I think both kind of apply. Penn State deserved their flowers. Michigan deserves the mud, whatever you want to give them for this one. And the worst part about it, I said it last show, the worst part about it is this might be one of Doug McDaniel's last game in a Michigan uniform if the academics thing does not work out for him. Apparently, he might become ineligible after the 9th. So what is that? This would be his last game for them. I think they don't play. Yeah, this would be their last game for him if he is declared ineligible. So a hard way for Doug McDaniel to go out if this is his last game. But I don't know. If I'm Doug McDaniel, it might be nice to just go ahead and leave because things are not pretty for this Michigan team. Kent, what were your thoughts on this game?
I don't think he cares at all. Like that they lost this game. I mean, have you just the everything about that team, the roster, everything that they do is just like they don't care. They definitely don't care. Doug definitely doesn't care that they lost today, and that is potentially his last game. And if he would like to dispute that, I would laugh to see him on video saying that he was upset about losing this game. There's no way he cared. I do want to focus on the other side, though, JR. You said there's two ways you can go. I would love to see, I should say, this is the game that kind of turns things for Coach Rhoades, because I think Coach Rhoades is great. He just has to kind of put things together, and it's taken a little bit longer. Well, it's not taking that long. It's his first year. But I think I said when he got hired, I think that this year is just a complete wash. You don't have to worry about anything because he's going to be trying to build something. Be great if this was like a turning stone for them or a turning, whatever you want to call it. And they start building right now is what I'm trying to get at. I'd like to see them maybe pick up a few more wins, maybe pick up some momentum because I like what he's doing. He's got a roster basically completely loaded with team or players that weren't on the team last year. None of these guys were at Penn State last year. So I'd like to see them turn it around, especially after the year that they had last year for their fan base. I think it's good for the conference when Penn State is good. And I think Coach Rhoades, to be in a more positive light about coaching, I think he is the guy for the job at Penn State. And in the long haul, he will turn it around and they'll be back at the top of the conference sooner than later.
I agree. Mike Rhoades, I think he's a good coach, and I think that he's going to really help this team along the way. It's going to be really, really positive for them. Russ, what were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, and I don't know how many teams got so lucky or how so many teams got so lucky because Penn State only plays Wisconsin, Illinois, and Purdue once as well. So they're a team that can definitely pick up some wins late in the season. They are only one game above 500, so I think that the tournament is a pipe dream. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but like you said, it's a team that could definitely build momentum, could play spoiler a little bit, and knock some of these middle of the road teams in the Big Ten out of the tournament with some losses. So yeah, and I want to throw out a stat for you guys that might be surprising, and it kind of gives it away since it's the game we're talking about and the team we're talking about. But what team in the Big Ten is the only team with a winning record on the road in true road games? Only team in the Big Ten.
In only Big Ten games or in all of their games?
All games, all season. True road games.
Penn State?
It's Michigan.
Oh.
But I was going to say Michigan, but I was like, I don't remember the last time they won. I know they beat Iowa on the road. Who else did they beat?
They see it. You got me on that. I didn't write down.
That's the only one I can remember off the top of my head.
St. John's. They beat Stanford.
But St. John's was neutral. Are we counting that?
At Iowa. They won at Iowa, yeah, that game. And then
it does claim it's at St. John's.
At St. John's, yeah, and at Stanford.
Yeah.
So, but they also are the only team in the Big Ten with a losing record at home. So figure that one out.
Wow. So that is very interesting.
Isn't that ironic? But it looked like they were going to take control of this game early. They had a 10-point lead pretty much about 8-10 minutes through the game, and they took that lead into halftime. But then Penn State came out just ready to play, and they just kind of slowly, melodically worked their way back in. I think they took like a 16-8 run the first 5 minutes or so of the second half, but then they added a 10-0 run on that in the middle of the game, and they just kind of took control and never looked back. And yeah, I think Juwan Howard's days and minutes are numbered. And in this day and age, it's not the traditional you wait till the end of the season to fire your coach, because with the transfer portal, with recruits changing their mind, with the all the money out there for NIL, all that stuff. You've got to, if you're going to make the change, make it now, because that's only going to hurt your program to wait longer to fire somebody like that.
See, and I think that's the hard part is because, and this is always why I say it's a bad move to, not always, typically it's a bad move to hire a coach who used to be a player who doesn't have any, coaching experience before at the college level. I didn't really like the hire with Mike Woodson. I get why IU did it. They really needed to go with somebody who could kind of get the fans back and get the energy back. I really did not like the hire for Michigan coming off of John Beilein. I felt like Michigan was at a point where they could have hired, a big time coach to come in there and kind of continue things on like John Beilein had going. But obviously Juwan Howard didn't do that. He kind of took the team and kind of, nosedived a little bit after that. They did make a Sweet 16. So, he's done more than Holtman has done at Ohio State, but still, like,
he made an Elite Eight, I think.
Did he? Yeah, Elite Eight. Yeah. He went to an Elite Eight. So, he was able to do that, but ever since then, the team has just kind of nosedived. It's gone downhill. And it's really, really unfortunate for Michigan because I'm with you, Russ. I think you need to fire a coach in the middle of the year in a situation like this, but I don't think Michigan can. I think that Michigan, like Juwan Howard has too much of a legacy there. His son is on the team. I feel like Michigan's going to try to be nice guy and keep him on until the end of the season. And it's going to kind of be like a mutual parting of ways. But I'm with you, Russ. I don't think that's the right thing to do. And that's what's so hard about bringing in a guy who used to be playing for your school and who has history there, because you look like a jerk if if you do end with it like that. Kent, are you with me, or do you think they'll fire him in the middle of the season?
Man, that's really tough to say. I don't think that they will either. I'm kind of with you on that. Yeah. I think they'll try to hang on to him. I mean, like you said, he made the tournaments the first couple of years, and he made a bit of a run. In fact, if I'm remembering correctly, they were a Franz Wagner shot, 3-point shot away from a Final Four the one year. So they had that run, but then it's like after that, it's going in the wrong direction really fast. And that's what the problem is how bad they've gotten so quickly. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to let him survive this year and then give him one more shot next year. I just can't see it. I don't know. I just can't see it happening. It's too much of a win now. Like everything in sports is like, you got to win right now. So I just don't see how they can keep him till the end of the year. But to your point, I also don't see them firing him in the middle of the season.
Yeah. Russ, I know, I assume you saw that he let Phil Martelli head coach this game because it was in the Palestra and in Philadelphia and stuff like that. And I know that this is kind of a nice thing for Juwan Howard to do. But to me, your team is 6-8. You're 1-2 in the conference. They're 6-9 now, 1-3. I think Mr. Nice Guy is out the window at this point, and you just say, sorry, Phil Martelli, I got to coach this game because we need wins. Did you like the move to let Phil Martelli head coach, or what were your thoughts on it, Russ?
No, that's terrible. That's terrible. I mean, I hope you guys are right. I hope he stays around as long as possible, because I think the only fans that should be rooting for him to be fired are actually Michigan fans. The rest of the conference should say thank you for every day that they wake up and Juwan Howard is the Michigan head coach. Maybe he's taken a page out of the football program's book by letting somebody else coach the game, and hey, maybe it'll work out for basketball, but that you don't exactly have the program and the team built up in basketball that the football team does.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I just, it's funny to watch from the outside. And like I said, it's almost like you're rooting for the guy to not be fired, even though that's what should happen, because this conference is going to get any easier. We're adding 4 quality programs next year, and so we need as many bottom feeders as we can if you're a middle-of-the-road or top-tier basketball program. So you want Juwan Howard to stick around as long as possible, but it doesn't make any sense at all. It makes no sense.
I agree. The only reason is some kind of an emotional attachment of some sort, and unfortunately, when you get that, we just talked about it with Coleman Hawkins. Emotions and passion is good, but it can be a detriment as well. So. Listen to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.